Let's now go and take Mr. Emmanuel Wettee on the show this morning. Mr. Wettee, good morning.
Good morning, Brother Costa. How are you?
I'm doing well. I could not be better this morning. We're glad to have you.
Thank you.
Let me take this thing down. I want people to be able to, those watching can see your name at the bottom of your your image. But let's hear you. Welcome to the Costa Show. You have been consistently one of the advocates and proponents for the law to be changed, and the law has indeed been changed. And now Liberians who are born Liberian citizens or who are born Liberian citizens, no matter what passport they assume or they pick up wherever they are, can no longer lose their Liberian passport. How does that make you feel, Mr. Wettee?
Well,
with that, on that note.
Yeah, I feel very good. And in addition to that, that any child that is born by a Liberian woman, irrespective of the citizenship of the biological father, that child is in Liberia at birth. There is no if and there is no and.
Which is good.
Yes.
Which is applicable to my son, Henry Costa Jr.
Very good.
And I'm pretty sure applicable to children that you've had in this country.
That's correct. That's correct.
Very good.
Yes, very good.
So, Mr. Wettee, let's start first with this. Give me a synopsis of the journey, the struggle, because it was a long, tedious, strenuous journey. Let's begin with that. Give us a short version of it. Yes, and then we'll go to the success and to the advantages and the disadvantages of the law as has been passed.
Thank you very much, Costa. I do appreciate. I want to say for the record, Costa, you have been with us from the genesis of this. Providing all free services in Liberia on your show. You never ask for a dime. Every time we call you, you give us, the airtime. But actually, this journey started in 2005 with our president, Arthur Watson of EULA. He started the advocacy, but what actually happened in 2005, EULA was not focused on dual citizenship. At the time, we were focused on immigration issue, DED, TPS, and all those things. So our investment was in that area. So after it came out, then the what's his name? The late Senator Manston with Benedict Warner, Reverend John Law, and other people with Clayton Watterson. They started their own group in 2007, but they came to Liberia. They thought the front would welcome them, and everything just blew up. So they were not successful. So coming down, there are many other groups in Europe, John Law in the state. The other group began to go to Liberia, advocate with dual citizenship. It didn't work out. Then in 2012, the embassy of Liberia under the ambassadorship of Jeremiah Solontet and EULA brought all the diaspora together in 2012 under the president of we met in DC and we organized the All-Liberian Conference on dual citizenship. And since 2012, our focus has been only dual citizenship. In 2009, Anthony Cassidy went to the conference for the what's the name? The TRC conference. Mm-hmm. And you'll be surprised because as one of the recommendations in the TRC report is dual citizenship. That's one of the recommendations. So that's how we started. The entire presidency of President Eddie Johnson said we lobbied. We from Europe to Africa to the United States. We for complete the whole period. The whole period of presidency. She promised us. And it didn't work out. So
was a bill ever placed on the floor all that period, entire 12 years?
Yes, a bill was placed on the floor, but it never left committee room.
Are you kidding?
I'm telling you the truth.
That means that I'm sorry. I mean, what I really meant to say was, did a bill ever make it to the legislature? So it made it to the legislature, got to committee room, never got out to get on the floor.
No way, never. The Clayton Wallace bill, the Manneh Sherman bill. I mean, you can just name it. Never left committee room. So when yeah, okay, so that's the history. You know, then we can talk on. I can go on.
Very
on.
good. No, I appreciate that synopsis.
Yeah.
I did not know that the fight had begun since then.
Yeah. And
now we're here.
Okay.
Some 15 years later, we have a law printed in the handbill. What are the things you wanted in the law that are not in the law? And what are the things you wanted in the law that are in the law? Let's begin with the things you wanted that are not there.
Okay.
First.
But as Brother Costa, since we talk about the history, at least can we get him 1 minute just to thank you and other people who have been helping us? You're
most welcome, Mr. Wettee. Most welcome.
This bill is a bipartisan bill. We want to say for the record, where there's no one pricing. But you know, in our tradition, it's always good to recognize people. Like I would say on your platform, you're one of those. I never met you. Let people be aware. We never met. But you have been with us on the Dual Citizenship thing. You have provided free time and everything. So want to say thank you. We want to say thank you to your political leader, VP Boyka in power. He did his best he could. This bill was made possible through the hands-on leadership of President George Manneh Weah. When both the House and the Senate could not make it, he sent his legal counsel, Archibald Bona, so that he could meet. The history is that on the House side, the House did pass a bill, and the Senate passed a bill, but the two was not together. On the House side, like I mentioned, this is a bipartisan thing, so just for a few minutes, we'll call some names, not anything. You have the Speaker, Buffett Chima, Fanati Kofa, Akaras Gray, Kenny Warsaw. Those were our giants on the House side. They made it happen. On the Senate side, you have the pro tem, you have Senator Manneh Sherman, our own man, Dara. You got Coming we said, and Milton TJ. They made it happen on that side. They both couldn't meet, and Councilor Bonard came in through the instruction of President Weah to make sure that they're all okay. All-Liberian Conference comprises of partners, ULAB, Liberians in Europe, Liberians in Canada, Liberians in Australia, Colosua, Liberian Advocacy for Change, Liberian in Ghana, our champions, our sponsor, and everybody that supported us, and God made it happen. So I want to say thanks to everybody. If I didn't call your name, just know that it was not, I didn't rehearse to start, but thank you everybody for their support. Now we can come on. When we started this bill, we wanted a bill with no restriction at all. No restriction. Once a Liberian, always a Liberian.
So you enjoy all the rights as enshrined in the Constitution.
All the rights and privileges. We were successful in the House. The House passed a bill, no restriction. You restore your Liberian citizenship, you are fine. When it went on the Senate side, so the House passed a bill that we wanted. That's what we wanted. It was fine. Yeah. When it went on the Senate side, our team in the Senate side, they told us straight. They say Emmanuel and other people, other sponsors, they say, look, there is absolutely no way a bill can be passed in the Senate with all restrictions. So
they were clear and straight up and upfront with you.
Yes, it was that. It was not an if and an and. They told us, and because when you're in this negotiation, you gotta give and take. You can't get everything. So for day and night, many telephone conferences, or we talk, we say, okay, we can accept restrictions that we can live with. Then tomorrow we can go to the next level and fight. Because advocacy is not an event. Advocacy is a process. So, and let me say this thing, Costa. And I want to say in good faith. People have been coming and talking against Darius Dillon that he supported restriction. It's not true. DeLong is very strategic. DeLong was very mindful. It went on the Senate. DeLong guided the entire process. And want to say thanks for his leadership in that direction. There are a lot of things there, but we're not going to discuss it. But I want to express my thanks to DeLong for his strategic move. It got in the Senate. They told us it will not pass with all restriction. So the first thing, Acosta, when something goes in the Senate, it has to pass the Senate body first. That body had a lot of restriction. They had a restriction, Acosta. You may not believe it. That you know, but that was the playbook. It got to the committee room because since the Senate had a version and the House had a version, and they both were not the same, they had a meeting committee room. And in that committee room, we want to say thanks to our team. They were able to drop most of the restrictions. I mean, you will not be because of most of the restrictions. The only thing that we have left is that on the position for appointments, you can't be, if you are a Liberian with a citizenship of another country, you can't be a finance minister, you cannot be governor of the National Bank, and you cannot be defense minister. Because let me say this. If you look at Article 3, Section 2 of the law says you can ask me. So if Costa is appointed defense minister,
I will not tell you, don't ask, don't tell.
Don't tell. You know, so that is muted. On the elected,
so there's a loophole.
Yeah,
most of us have loopholes.
Loophole. So you can ask. On the elected positions, you cannot be senator. You can't hold any elected position. However, Costa, this is an interesting part though. The Supreme Court made a decision
in the Peace Jallow case.
Yeah, it says that person is a Liberian until a competent jurisdiction can say they are now a Liberian. So you can run. The body of proof is not on me, it's on you.
Because you are not even supposed to ask me.
Yeah, you're not supposed to ask me. So that's the other thing. The other thing that happened is that, you know, Costa, like you mentioned, you said it right for us. We got something, we can work with it, and we can improve on it. That is a good foundation, like you mentioned. I gave that to you. The confusion in this bill is this, Costa. Some of our people are saying that this bill benefit a naturalized Liberian as compared
to a natural-born Liberian.
Yeah. Now, Costa,
what do you say about that, Mr. Wettee? It keeps coming up. People are saying,
it keeps coming up.
Yeah,
it keeps coming up. But this is it, Costa. The law says that a Liberian with a citizenship of another country, the law did not say a natural-born Liberian. The law did not say a naturalized Liberian. The law says a Liberian who holds a citizenship of another country. That person will have this limitation. But what the critics are saying, they are interpreting that to mean natural born. It's not what the law says. Because in our constitution, it's
applicable to all, whether natural or natural born.
That's correct. It's everybody. It's only in Article 52 of our constitution that the natural is used as an adjective to describe a Liberian. It says that in Article 52, only a natural born Liberian can be president or vice president. Every other person, they just say a Liberian. So even
but the Constitution makes that very clear, though.
Yes, very clear.
Natural born.
Yeah, natural born. So that's the only place natural is used as an adjective to describe
the type of Liberian.
Yeah, Liberian. But every other thing they say a Liberian. A Liberian. So a Liberian can be natural born, a Liberian
or naturalized.
So I want to appeal to you and to everybody who this thing to be clear up, because that's the major confusion.
So in other words, contrary to the view that in certain aspects of the law, a naturalized Liberian, say for example, someone from Nigeria came to Liberia, stayed there for a while, meets the minimum requirements, and becomes a Liberian citizen by naturalization.
Yes.
In other words, those people are saying in certain sections of the law, someone with a naturalized Liberian citizenship can enjoy more rights than someone who is a natural born Liberian who simply holds another country's passport. But that's not the case.
That's not the case, correct. That's not the case because the
so
law
there's no
says,
need to be crying wolf, right?
Yes, yeah, we are crying wolf. The law says a Liberian. And if you check our law and our constitution, there's only one place. It's only in Article 52 that natural was used to describe a Liberian. Everything,
because it was speaking with specificity to the positions of president and vice president, right?
Right, Costa.
Because that is consistent with the Constitution.
Yes, correct.
Because all laws are supposed to be crafted according to Article 2 of the Liberian Constitution in standing in conformity with the Constitution.
Yes.
So they could not make this law to say anybody who is a Liberian can run for Liberian presidency.
That's correct.
Because the Liberian law is clear. You must be a natural born.
That's correct. Absolutely correct.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And the other thing that the law brings is that, Costa, prior to the law, we have about 10,000 Liberians that were stateless. What that means is that, the father are not Liberian. So the mother is a Liberian, but the child cannot be considered a Liberian because the woman cannot pass a citizenship over to a child. In fact, the United Nations Refugee High Commission on Refugee just wrote an article praising the government of Liberia for eliminating gender as a criteria in passing on citizenship. So with this law now, the 10,000 Liberians, that were stateless, they can now call themselves Liberian because their mother
they can now pass citizenship on to them.
Yeah, to them. Even the United Nations itself has recognized that and has released a press statement on that issue. So the law is a good law. Now we're not going to come here and say it's it's the best of the best. It's so, like you mentioned, Costa. I will borrow what you said. It's something that we can work with, we can work for, we can modify it. And Costa, advocacy that is not an event, it's a process. We did our
part. How long you started this thing? As far back as 2005.
Yes.
Only to have had a law passed in 2022.
Yes, 2022. People have what her name? The senator from Monserrado County, who passed away,
Geraldine Doe Sharif.
Yeah, she was one of the champions. There's another guy, somebody from he was in the house. I'm sorry, I forgot their name. I mean, many people have passed away. Even the man that started one of the funny Master passed away. And the things still continue. Those people upon their shoulder, we are to where we are. So we were successful to have the law passed. If you don't like it, there are other things. You can elect people to go there and make it better. You can go to the Supreme Court and make it. But just as you say, Costa, let me borrow from you. It's something that we can work with and let us accept it and move on.
Thank you. Folks, we have with us Mr. Emmanuel Wettee, Eminent Emmanuel S. Wettee. He's the chairman of the ALC. What does the ALC stand for, sir?
The ALC is the All-Liberian Conference on Dual Citizenship that was funded in 2012 that comprises of the Union in America, Liberians in Europe, Liberians in Australia, Colonial Liberia on the west, the western part of the United States, which is Texas, Oklahoma and the other places. Then we have Liberians in Canada, and we have the Liberian Advocacy for Change, that is based in New York. These are the people that constitute the All-Liberian Conference on dual citizenship. And in addition to that, we do have a leadership team that have been running this organization. You got Dr. Torbo, Asale, these are people, Dr. Bueka, and all of these people. We've been having meetings every Sunday at 2:00 since 2012, just to have this thing, just to have the things going on.
Very, 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 very good. Mr. Wettee, we want to say kudos to you and the guys and the rest of the team for the tireless, consistent, and persistent efforts that you all made, which have culminated into this law, which, as we've said, and we would like to maintain, is not perfect, but it can be built upon. It's got tremendous benefits, which are there for all of us. And one thing I want to say, to borrow from you, is that the law it encompasses everything. I mean, people from all groups, political persuasions, and affiliations. It was a bipartisan effort, or perhaps even a multi-partisan effort.
That's correct.
There were independent lawmakers and partisan lawmakers. A cohort of Liberians from Europe to America to Liberia who worked to make this happen. And so we thank you because one of the benefits of this law is that people up who are concerned, say your child, say for example, your child is was born in America, and just because the child does not want to have to swear an oath to become a Liberian citizen, it doesn't mean that your child should lose their Liberian citizenship. Even though they were born in America, they should be able to hold a Liberian passport as well as an American passport and be able to inherit all of your properties, real properties, back home in Liberia without anybody challenging or contesting the legal ownership thereof. So that's one of the benefits of the law. And for most of the people who are advocating for this law to be passed, they were not doing so because they're trying to secure for themselves political positions. Most of the people wanted this law passed because they wanted to ensure that their natural born right as a Liberian citizen, it should not be taken away from them simply because they hold another passport from another country.
Yes, and in addition, because this law allows you to vote.
It does. It does.
You right now, registration will be starting in December. You can go to Liberia and register to vote. Even though we have another advocacy, we try to see about other country voting, but that's another chapter.
Yeah, right now, and they keep asking the question, Mr. Wettee. Let's answer them, please. Okay. They want to know: do you still need a Liberian visa to go to Liberia? Once you go and obtain your Liberian passport, you do not need a Liberian visa. Is that so, Mr. Wettee?
That's correct. If you are traveling with your Liberian passport, you do not need a visa. And
the good thing is you can even present all two passports, or the immigration officer can see your Liberian passport, your U.S. passport. It doesn't matter. He is required by this law to let you into your country as a Liberian citizen.
Yeah, the immigration, we are in close contact with the Bureau of Immigration. They are drafting a regulation to spell out. Also, we are in contact with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Let me be precise. We are in communication with the Commissioner General of the Immigration, Colonel Robert Batu Budiwa. We are also in communication with Councillor Dwell Gray, Deputy Minister of Legal Affairs at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. These people will be coming on regulation policy how to define the operational definition of the law. So from a few weeks from now, there will be regulation coming up telling us what to do, because because that December is coming up. And December, the travel in Liberia are going to be very heavy. So we are appealing to them, working with them to make sure they come up with some regulation. So all of these conditions, passport, visa, it can all be defined. And so when you travel, we all can be on the same standard of policy.
Mr. Wettee, thank you very, very much. We appreciate you coming on this morning, but more so, we appreciate your role you play, a leading, pivotal role you played over the years, for almost 2 decades, to try to get this law passed. Thank you so much. This is part of your legacy. How does that make you feel when the law was finally printed into handbill?
Well, Costa, I'm just like you. We work for the people. This is not our thing. The people feel good. We all feel good. This is not a personal thing for Wettee. It's just something that I was part of the team. I'm part of the team that make it happy. But as a Liberian, I feel good that once a Liberian, always a Liberian. but the glory go to God, the glory go to the highest, the glory go to the people, the glory go to everybody, and together we all will be, and see what happens. It was just a teamwork. You play your part. I'm not, because if we start cutting the cake, you get your share of the cake.
Everybody will get a piece.
Yeah,
which is a good thing. It was
yeah.
teamwork.
We are not calling to our meeting. You just took upon yourself in Liberia and were just talking about the issue, So everybody got a cake, So my cake is not because my part of the cake is not because of anybody. It was a teamwork, and glory be to God that it came to pass.
Mr. Wettee, thank you very much. God bless you, and may God bless you in your future advocacy endeavors.
Thank you.
The struggle continues.
Okay, it continues. I hope to see you in person one day.
One day.
Yeah.
Hey, I
from Sano.
I always thought you were bad.
No.
It sounds like a bad name.
You are right that there are Wettees in Bunker because they spread the name different, but it sounds the same.
Oh, I see. You see,
yes, you are right.
All that tells you how as diverse as we may be, but how very one we are.
Yes.
The names may sound different or may mean something different.
Yes.
But they may. Oh, yeah. So, but thank you very much, Mr. Wettee, and I look forward to working with you again in the future.
And Costa, before I let you go, I guess this is off the record. You are very involved in the campaign of Liberian running in the United States. I was thinking about something that we all can do, is to maybe have a fundraiser or something for all the Liberians that are running in November. Have one big program.
We should. That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
That's a brilliant idea. We got Brother Winfrey Russell running for mayor.
Yeah.
We got Sister Naquita Ricks, who's running for re-election as a member of the Colorado legislature. Yeah. We got Brother Nathan Bia in Rhode Island. We got a number of other Liberians. We should organize that. Let's work on that.
Yeah,
let that be our next project.
And we can work on it. Let's support our people. They will be making the decision for us tomorrow. We want to see a day that we all will gather to the U.S. Congress to see a Liberian in the House or in the Senate.
I'm telling you, like they got Ilan Ohan from Somalia in Congress.
So I will call you and we'll work on it.
Thank you, Mr. Wettee. Thank you very much. All right then. Stay blessed. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Well, folks, there you have it there.